the back of the City net. And then City regaining the lead. A lovely ball from Semenyo to Haaland. Haaland dinked it to the far, and O'Reilly headed it back whence it came into the corner of the net. So at half-time here, a terrific game it's been as well. City 2, Newcastle 1. Well, let's go back to the studio and join FG.
Thank you very much. Half-time from the Etihad, and what a fantastic first half of football from a City perspective. They're leading 2-1 against Newcastle United, but wow, what a 45 minutes we have got coming up. Joining me in the Matchday Live studio at the Etihad Stadium, two former captains, the centre-half partnership of dreams, Andy Morrison and Keith Curle. First things first, wow, what a first half from both sides.
Yeah, and I think both teams are showing the threat that they've got. I think Newcastle, excellent from set pieces, size-wise, physicality, and also aggression to go and attack the ball, and then also on the break, dangerous. But again, you have a look at City as well. The more the game's coming on now, we're creating chances. We are creating chances, and I tell you what, we bring in the best in the studio, because these two gentlemen beside me were speaking highly of Nico O'Reilly, and what a first half performance from him, to go with a man of the match performance against Fulham last time out in the Premier League. He's fantastic, and the two goals he's got have been brilliant.
Yeah, I mean the finish, you know, is really just good laces on the ball, hard, you know, make sure you hit the target, enough power on it, but it was a movement before that, you know, where he's ran off, and then he's got the presence of mind to pull into the space, ball across his body, he can rush that. Great strike.
Fantastic strike. It was great work as well from Omar Marmoush for that first goal. He's added a lot of energy there in that front line with Haaland as well, and Semenyo either side of him. He's added a lot of energy and a lot of problems. We've noticed in the studio here at half time that when Donnarumma's got the ball at his feet, Newcastle are content with leaving the two centre halves up against Erling and Marmoush, and City are sort of having a go as well.
Yeah, and again, I think as soon as you get good balls into Haaland or Marmoush lower, so it's not a fight ball with the defender, then the defenders have got a problem. At the minute, they're just slightly overhitting it in that, trying to get it there too soon, which makes it's easier for the centre back there. And that slower ball, Andy said about the ball that bounces into a centre forward, then he's able to get his body in front and go and bring other people into play. But in general play, Marmoush is taking up a great position in between Trippier and the right side centre back, which is causing them a problem. As in, like, do they go tight to him? Then that's going to leave more space around Nori to go down the outside. But he's a clever player, and he likes scoring goals. He likes getting his shots off.
Yeah, he does indeed. He took one. We can see some stats there. 8 shots to Newcastle's 6. There's been plenty going on here as well. And our regular goal scorer, our number 9, turned assister for the second goal. A fantastic ball in with his so-called weaker foot, Andy, and then the header was fantastic.
I can't remember the game, but we had the identical goal where Nico O'Reilly went down the left and he clipped it with that sort of feel, and Haaland pulled off and the header. It was identical, and it's a great ball. Appreciation as well on the feel and the touch with his right foot from Haaland, and then Nico O'Reilly arriving, and it's a great header. I mean, I know when it just looks like that, it becomes simple, but it's not ever as easy as that. You know, his timing, he's gone back across the keeper. And yeah, he's had a brilliant first half.
He has indeed had a brilliant first half. A lot of players have played fantastically in that first half. In between the 2 goals from City, there was an equaliser for Newcastle United. A little bit of fortune with the deflection, question marks potentially as to whether it was a corner, but City's response was fantastic as well.
Yeah, City's response was fantastic, but I think defensively, when the first ball that came in, it's a poor header from Nunes. As a defender, you've height and distance. Height and distance gives you a chance, right? So he's made contact, headed it low, hit the lad on the back, bounced out to the lad on the edge of the box, and then you're going to clear it. But then that can get eradicated if you get height and distance on your first contact in the box.
Yeah, I mean, well, you heard it from the man himself in the studio. Second half up and coming. I mean, Andy, you were fantastic with your prediction. Lots of goals in the first half. Keith, you said it was going to be goalless at half time. I wouldn't mind it being goalless in the second half because City would take the 3 points. But it was such a high tempo game, and it was matched by the energy in the stadium as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's been goals change games, goals change mentality. I'm never disappointed when there's goals here. Probably Newcastle are probably a little bit more open than what I thought they'd be. I thought it'd be a little bit more defensive-minded, even with the attacking players that they got on the pitch. Again, like Andy said, there's goals to be able to get again now.
I mean, what they said in the commentary team as well, and what we echoed here, and I'm sure everyone watching Matchday Live everywhere is echoing, is City could really do with that 2-goal cushion. I mean, the way that the game's going, potentially even more than that. I mean, they definitely need more in an attacking sense, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all predicted brilliantly how the game would pan out. That's exactly what we spoke about. How we, apart from the goal, but we spoke about a game being wide open. We spoke about chances. We talked about them on the counter-attack. We talked about their pacing behind, Anthony Gordon's danger, how we were going to affect them. It's how it panned out, you know, and they're still a very, very dangerous team. You know, with Anthony Gordon's pace, especially with Diaz. I wouldn't be surprised if Coutinho started the second half.
Yeah, that pace seems to be the way that they seem to be getting in when they do. City have had the majority of possession, over 60% of the possession in the first half of them as well. But it is that counter-attack and it is that worry. And as the game goes on, you expect more of that from Newcastle. Yeah,
definitely. Probably the one ball that I don't like is when the fullback ball goes in wide areas, the fullback plays it and follows it, and it goes. If that ball's not right, then you're wide open for a counter-attack, and you've got one body less. That's the way City play, and that's the way City do things. You'd probably say, if you have a look at Nico's goal-scoring prowess at the minute, you're thinking, like, why did Pep not move him forward quicker, earlier? That's not a bad criticism, is it?
I mean, someone on Twitter, or X as you call it now, has said that he is turning into the end-of-season Ilkay Gundogan. With his goals. That is huge praise for Nico O'Reilly. And I mean, what footsteps to follow. Let's head over now to our commentary team and get their thoughts on the first half. I mean, I hope they've had a little bit of a break because they did a fantastic job there, calling all the action, which was relentless.
Thanks, FG. Welcome back to the commentary position where myself and Steve Howie have been bringing you first half commentary. Steve, really good game of football. What in particular has impressed you tonight?
I just think both teams' intent to go forward and try and score goals. I think Newcastle are losing 2-1, but they're certainly in the game. As we said before the game, because of that pace, they'll be wanting to try and catch Man City on the break. But straight on the off, though, I thought City were the team that did have full intent and wanted to get that breakthrough. Obviously, O'Reilly with the 2 goals, absolutely fantastic goals. One of them in particular was a superb goal, but I mean, that half seemed to go over so quickly as well. You know, you think about 50 minutes and it just went in the blink of an eye. Great first half.
Do you see a similar second half?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't think this is going to finish 2-1. I think City do need that second goal because, as I said, Newcastle are causing problems. I think Eddie Howe, the manager, will be sort of saying to his team, listen, just keep on doing what we do and the chances will come, especially if we catch them on the break. But having said that, Pep will be sort of saying we need another goal here because obviously the game's kind of on a knife edge.
The way that Newcastle are playing, what are the difficulties that City are finding with them?
I think it's the pace, really. I mean, pace terrifies defenders. And I think when you've got 3 players that have got that pace, which Newcastle have got with them 3 players up front, they're always going to cause you problems because you can sit back and try and defend, but obviously if you can break it up and then catch them on the counter-attack, that's going to cause City some problems. We've seen it numerous times in the first half that was the case, even though City had a lot of possession. I can see the game again being the same in the second half, but what City have to do is when they do get the chances, because they've had a couple of other chances, they've got to try and put that to bed.
Do you feel that City will find, well, certainly another goal at least in that second half?
I do, yeah. I think because the game's that open, and it is really open for a game like this, I think there will be chances. You know, whoever they fall to, they've just got to make sure, you know, it isn't a case of they've had a lot of play, they've had a lot of chances, but they couldn't do the chances, and then Newcastle nick one, and they'll be kicking themselves with that. So, really, they will have opportunities, but most important, they've got to take these opportunities.
Well, thank you for your thoughts and indeed for your commentary in the first half. The guys in the studio have demanded another look at your shirt. Don't ask me why. I don't know if you can just... I mean, to me, it seems quite stylish. Are you regretting the decision?
Absolutely not. Look, it's colourful. It's different. Sometimes people don't like different, you know, but I just think to mix it up, instead of like a bland blue or a bland black, you know, I've gone for colour. Just to sort of be a little bit more colourful.
Steve's fighting his corner. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much. I mean, I don't know who in the studio asked him to show him that shirt again, because it definitely wasn't me. One thing's for certain, if you're not tuning into the commentary on the City Plus app, you really should, because it's great, a great listen, and we've been enjoying it in the first half. How do we see this second half going then, Keith? I mean, I'm not...
Well, I said the first half would be tight and no goals, but I said there'd be goals in the second half. So I'm sticking with there's going to be more goals in the second half.
More goals in the second half, and I think it'd be hard to argue against that based on the game we've seen. From City's perspective, though, will they try and sort of tighten it up in terms of a Newcastle attack sense?
Maybe late on, they might, it might go to a. They have done it a couple of times this season where they kind of matched up. And they've gone to a back three so that everybody's responsible for somebody. Just going into the final stages of the game, that might be the only thing. But City will do what they do. They'll keep the ball. They'll keep moving it. With the three are almost narrow. Do you know? I mean, if the ball's on the left, it's like a 4-4-2, and balls on the right, they're tucked in. So there's lots of threats, and there's going to be lots of opportunities for both teams. Will get a lot of opportunities this second half.
And when you look at Newcastle, especially in some of the spaces that they're in, the tight spaces sometimes, or even the 2v2, really braving their duels, is it a bit of a surprise that they're 10th in the Premier League?
I think it's their there's 0 goal difference, so they're scoring goals, but they're conceding goals as well, which is always going to be a threat. No, they're a threat. They're a good, entertaining footballing team to watch. Have they had that run this season now of going on and putting 5-6 wins together? No, I don't think they have.
Yeah, their record at the Etihad isn't great as well. We are listening and reading all of the YouTube comments, and they're all echoing exactly what you said, Andy. We need Kusanov's pace. A lot of City fans are calling on that. How long do you think it would be until potentially he is welcomed into this game?
I'm not sure how the manager will be seeing it, but they're in that channel. I mean, even if Diaz is clever enough to keep Nunes back, just keep him 10, 15 yards deeper so that channel's not available. Because if it is a foot race, he's going to be in trouble.
Would you go with a 3 and put Kuznov there, put Diaz in the middle?
Possibly. Further on as the game goes on. I think, and I've seen it this year, we have tried that to shut games up.
Two managers talking in the studio as well, by the way, and also the YouTube comments are continuing to talk, and they're saying we're seeing Erling Haaland's game develop even more. He's becoming more creative. Is that because of the players that are around him? Maybe he doesn't really feel the burden when Marmoush and Semenyo are...
I think he's finding himself 1v1 or 2v2 up there, and again, so it's easier now, as in Newcastle saying, well, we're going to press. So the obvious ball is that bypass the press, and then Haaland's strength, physicality. Burns been booked, so you're thinking like, well, I don't know, could be a long 45 minutes for the lad.
On that topic of Burn being booked, I mean, it was an early booking. We spoke so much during half-time about how Erling Haaland is 1v1 against him. I mean, firstly, Erling must be looking at that and really sensing an opportunity to get on the other side of him, and then it takes one moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think if you have a look at it, with Newcastle's press, they're leaving Marmoush and Haaland. So if Marmoush can attract his man forward, then there's a massive space in behind him. But he's got to be brave enough to attract him and then hit the space in behind and then turn it into a foot race. And you think, well, Haaland's not going to get beat.
There was a disallowed goal in that, at the end of that first half, Andy. I mean, Diaz, smart defensive play, sort of pushed Dan Burn into an offside
It's
position.
what they do now with them standing offside and then jumping in to jump out. You're trying to shove him, and then you're entitled to do that to get him offside, which gives you that half a yard, because that sort of quick half a yard movement that was maybe prevalent 2 or 3 seasons ago is gone now, because it's so clever the way they jump in and jump out. So you haven't got that advantage to be able to get goal side. So you've got to be brave.
And our players are getting ready. They are nearly out for the second half. It's going to be a massive second half at the Etihad here in the 8 p.m. Premier League fixture on a Saturday. You don't really hear that often. City have the opportunity to go in touching distance of Arsenal. It'll be 2 points if they come out with 3 points. It's 2-1 currently, but we're going to head over to our commentary team in what has set out to be a fantastic second half to come.
Welcome back to the Etihad Stadium. And there is a half-time substitution, actually. And it's an interesting one, too, because stripped off and ready to come on is Abdulkadir Kuznov. And Ruben Diaz is the player who has been taken off. Now, Diaz was booked for that hauling back, I guess you'd call it, of Gordon. and of course Kuzanov has got a lot more pace than Diaz, and so maybe it's a double kind of whammy really, the reason that the substitution has been made. Kuzanov is on and Ruben Diaz is off, who was on a yellow card. So City have obviously decided, yeah, Gordon's got pace, Ilanga's got pace, Diaz is on a yellow, so let's make the change, which is an interesting one. It'll be City that will get things underway. Remember, if City do win tonight, there will be 2 points